Yo guys, what is up? Max on our Wonderlands video, and Dev Diary 4 just came out for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. In this Dev Diary, they talk way more in depth about character creation, the level cap. They mention some dungeon stuff, legendary weapons, and more. There's a ton of information to break down. As always, I will have the link to the article in the description, but I will be covering everything you guys need to know. Let's get right into it. So character customization in Wonderlands is crazy in depth. You can change your hair, face, makeup, whatever you want to change. You can give yourself asymmetry, so you can make one ear big, one ear small. If you want to look like a goblin or a shark or a human or an elf, like, it's totally up to you. And your character is going to be visible, even though it's a first-person game. Like in the overworld, you'll very much be able to see your character. So you're going to want to take your time making your character. What we learned today is more about the little details, and some of those things, besides like height, facial features, hairstyle, makeup, and attire, which you can change, is personalities. And you can pick between a gallant personality, a clever personality, gruff, or strange. And instead, they say, instead of role-playing as an established character with their own pre-existing past and motivations, think of the personalities in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands as the general tone you take in your approach to adventure. During your quest, your Fate Maker will have plenty to say, whether that's reactions to Tina's carefully crafted campaign or biting quips on the battlefield. Your choice of personality determines how bold, pithy, surly, or downright bizarre your banter will be. So not only do you get to pick your voice of your character and what you sound like, you get to pick the attitude and how your character will react to certain lines, certain situations, which is really cool. Each personality has two voice options to choose from, and you can alter their pitch to best suit your Fate Maker. For instance, there's usually the gallant adventurer who's always talking themselves up a little too much, and as you play, you start to realize that maybe they're still lacking on some heroic deeds. On the opposite side, you've got the strange character who is a little void-touched and has seen beyond the veil. They're not necessarily in it to save the world or anything more noble than that. It's more like, I must unravel the secrets of the universe, and oh, a blood sacrifice, I'm all about that. I could do that. Even after you've created your character, you can completely reshape their appearance using one of the quick change kiosks. If you want to change everything about your appearance halfway through the game, go ahead. Be who you want to be when you want to be it. If you're completely attached to your original look because you spent 3 hours making it when you started the character, that's great. Did you find a customization pickup that makes your skin look like gemstone and now you want to make a whole different look? Also great. We allow you to alter the core aspects of your character at any time, including body type, personality, and pronoun. They also mention how horrific you can make your character look in their like slider overdrive. So typically you might think like they would limit how much you could push, how big your nose is or how big your lips are or something like that. Basically, what they say in this dev interview is that no matter how crazy you want to get, you can make your character look absolutely crazy. You want your eyes rotated 90 degrees? Go ahead. If you want a giant nose that clips through your giant lips, you can do that. If you want a helmet that clips through a mask, like, go ahead. It's funny, it's meant to be funny, and a world like Wonderlands driven by Tina that feels very much in line with the theme of the game. Yeah, it's weird. Weird is hilarious. Sometimes if having a tough day, I'll go into the character creator, turn slider overdrive on, and just randomize characters. Within 5 minutes, I'm giggling because there's some truly hilarious stuff in there. Definitely use at your own risk, and if you find something that doesn't look right, don't call me. Next up, they talk about banners. So whenever you emote in the game, your banner will show up behind you. And they say when you beat dungeons, your banner will show up there in the overworld permanently to show that you've been there and conquered it, Ian explains. You can choose your banner, shape, pattern, and icon, plus a color for each. And most like of our customization types, you start out with a lot of choices, but then you unlock a lot more choices as you play the game. They drop from enemies as customization pickups, either from specific enemy armies like the skeletons or goblins, or from bosses and badass enemies in general, because the tougher the kill, the more cool stuff we should give you. So this is the first mention of like dungeons like really big in the game. Like obviously we kind of all assumed that there was dungeons, but they said when you beat the dungeons, plural, you will get these like banners to show off that you've beaten these dungeons. We still don't know really anything about endgame, but that's a nice little hint. I'm sure as we get closer to launch, we'll learn more, but they do say when you beat dungeons, plural, you'll get banners from them. So I'm assuming that is in somewhat way tied to the endgame. They also mentioned that as you do deeds in this world, heroic acts, you will actually get like a statue in Brighthoof, which is the main area, and your character will be like immortalized there, and you can pick the material of whether it be like classic marble or wood or radiant, and your statue, if you join into a friend's game, like they'll be able to see your statue and your character and your banner, and just a little bit more way to like share who your character is in this game. And then we get into some juicy stuff. Legendary aspirations. If character creation is the first step of your journey, you can think of the end game as the ultimate destination. As you level up your Fate Maker to the at-launch cap of 40, you'll be making all kinds of meaningful choices, like stat distribution, synergistic builds within your skill trees, and the gear you bring into each encounter. Okay, little note before, there's a lot more to read here, but I just want to make a note. Launch cap is 40. I'm actually such a big fan of this. It probably means that you'll get to the end game a little bit sooner, instead of like, you know how there's kind of sometimes that like awkward space where you like beat the campaign and then you just got to kill things for like a meaningless amount of time just to hit level cap. Seems like they might be shrinking that down. Also, with a level cap of 40, your decisions are just going to be so much more important. We haven't seen the skill trees yet for Wonderlands, but at 40, I kind of doubt that you can get 2 capstones. If you could get 2 capstones and it only takes 20 points there, that would be wild. So when you're multi-classing, you're going to pick 2 classes, but you'll probably have to make a decision of 1 capstone, or maybe no capstones at all. So that's super interesting, and it's just going to make build diversity even better. I'm sure that level cap will go up like eventually, as all Borderlands level caps literally have always gone up. So that we'll probably see that get to 50, maybe even higher. But I really do like that launch cap of 40. And then let's continue on. Continuing on, speaking of which, there'll be plenty of legendary gear to chase after across the Wonderlands, whether that's to simply experiment with their unique effects or use them as the crown jewel to your perfect character build. Ben Gettleman, lead game designer, has 2 legendary guns that are particularly near and dear to his heart. There's Rain of Arrows, which is a black powder shotgun that fires 5 projectiles, but it doesn't fire bullets. It fires arrows in an arcing pattern, and you actually have a targeting reticle in the world to show you where those arrows will go. Ben explains when they land, they all call down a rain of arrows at that location, so it does a bunch of damage over time there. That's very cool. We've seen that shotgun. We saw that shotgun in action. That is now confirming that that gun is called the Rain of Arrows, and it is a legendary shotgun. They also say it was also a lot of fun working on the new Sword Splosion, which is a gun from Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep that we rebuilt. Now it fires swords that stick into enemies, and if you've got a sword stuck in someone, the alt fire mode spawns a giant ethereal sword underneath them that shoots up and does a bunch of damage. I'm actually pretty sure that we've seen that. There was a gameplay clip that I like called out like a sword shooting gun that looked like it was shooting like Torg swords almost. That seems like that was that gun. Whatever your approach to character customization, there's something for everyone in Wonderlands. You'll be able to create your own Fate Maker, and it comes out March 25th. Very cool. Okay, so this was the Dev Diary 4. There's a ton of new information here. Level cap of 40. You get to pick your personality of your character. That's super awesome. We've got the Sword Splosion confirmed. We still don't know much about Endgame. There was like a mention of dungeons, plural, and we do know our level cap, but I'm sure they'll have more information out sooner or in the future. Guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Little side note, I'm going to be away at my cousin's wedding for the next 4 or 5 days. Just letting you know, I should have the vending machine video out tomorrow, but then after that, I'll be gone for a few days. And then when I get back, we got hopefully some more Wonderlands news. I will catch y'all in the next one, guys. Take care. Peace.